This region of southern Italy is well known for its fascinating history, its beautiful mountains, countryside and beaches. It's home to a range of traditional foods, including a family of cheeses known as pasta filata or stretched curd cheeses. Welcome to Campania. Located in the south of Italy, this fertile volcanic region is well known for its spectacular coastline and beautiful secluded beaches. In ancient times, it was the breadbasket of Naples, and the region still produces an amazing variety of traditional Mediterranean food and wine. Campania, the original home of many of Italy's stretched curd cheeses, and the world-renowned buffalo milk mozzarella, the king of them all. This family of stringy textured cheeses are created by heating fresh curds in hot water until they become pliable enough to shape by hand. Cheeses made using this technique are called pasta filata cheese. In Campania, there are dozens of different types made in various shapes and sizes from both buffalo and cow's milk. But the oldest cheese in this region is actually made from ewe's milk. I'm driving to the village of Castel di Sasso to visit a small farm that makes sheep's milk cheese. It's all organic and it claims to be the oldest cheese in Italy. This beautiful rustic property high in the hills has been in the family for several hundred years. It's almost completely self-sufficient, producing a seasonal variety of delicious vegetables and fruits, handmade breads, and of course, traditional cheese. In keeping with family tradition, Liliana is responsible for the cheese, whilst husband Franco runs the farm with the help of their son Fabio. And grandparents Antonio and Maria help out when needed.
All our products are organic. Pulses, beans, chickpeas.
It's called Concerto Romano, and it's matured inside ceramic clay pots filled with marinated olive oil.
Concerto Romano is an ancient recipe that was made in Roman times. We are keeping this tradition alive here with our sheep and mountains. Like the Romans, we marinate the cheese in olive oil, vinegar, chili and wild thyme, which only grows on these mountains in May. Then we age it in clay pots. Here it is. It's very fragrant.
Molto profumato.
Molto profumato. Long before buffalo came to this region, the main source of milk came from sheep. And it's their milk that lays the basis for all the cheeses made in this region. Once the curds have been placed in hoops, they're gently pressed to help release whey before being left to drain. After the cheeses have been matured for 15 days, just in the natural atmosphere, they're washed with water left over from making pasta. This starch-laden mixture helps create a protective barrier on the outside of the cheese. The cheeses are then placed into ceramic jars filled with walnut leaves, wild thyme, extra virgin oil, some vinegar and hot peppers. And of course, all of these ingredients come from the farm.
Questa operazione farlo amalgamare.
Sì, sì.
Okay. E qui dentro rimane dai 6 mesi ai 2 anni.
What Fabio's told me is this is turned every 10 days from 6 months to 2 years.
Mangiarlo poco.
The cheeses literally weep as they age for about 10 months in the jars. And the outcome is a very powerful flavour. After watching this family at work, it's hard not to admire the extraordinary amount of effort behind making this ancient cheese. Legend has it that the first fresh stretch curd cheeses of Campania were made from ewe's milk by the monks of San Lorenzo in the 10th century. Campania only developed its reputation for delicious mozzarella after Indian water buffalo were introduced to plough the swampy lowlands in the Middle Ages. No one seems quite sure precisely when the first of these animals arrived, but the locals soon recognised the advantage of making cheese with the rich, flavoured milk. Today, 7 regions in Italy produce buffalo mozzarella, but only one, Mozzarella di Bufalo Campania, is officially recognised as the benchmark. The name has been protected under the European DOP system since 1996, and the Campania region now produces 77% of all the buffalo milk in Italy. I decided to visit one of the few on-farm dairies that still makes cheese by hand using unpasteurised milk. These are the most spoilt buffalo in the whole of Campania. They get 50 kilos of organic feed a day, they receive homeopathic medicine if they get sick, and they get their own showers. The buffalo here are treated like stars. These buffalo get their own back scratcher, and they queue up one after the other to use it. It's rare to see buffalo so calm and contented, and perhaps it's not so surprising they produce very good quality milk.
In effetti ho pensato sempre alla qualità.
I have always taken into consideration the quality of the animal's life as well as the quality of the final product. And that is why it is important to keep the animals in the stables. Showering them is equally important, they have to be clean. But as the animals suffer from both the cold and the heat, it is necessary to keep them warm and happy also when it is cold.
These animals are really docile, really friendly. They come up and sniff you, and they give you a big lick. Each day, hungry customers gather outside the tiny farm shop to buy fresh cheese at its sensual best. Once the rich layers of moist, stringy curd have been formed into porcelain white balls of mozzarella, they are salted in brine and go straight from the dairy to the adjoining shop, where they are sold within minutes. The technique of creating soft, juicy mozzarella also requires split-second timing and careful judgment by the cheesemaker. In here, from the moment the curd is set to the moment it's turned into delicious balls, everything depends on working as a team. The fresh curd is first drained on trays until it reaches just the right acidity. Then it's milled into small, ragged pieces. Temperature is crucial, and the cheesemaker must know exactly how long to stretch and pull the hot, elastic curd until it's smooth and pliable. So this is a very important stage. It's where the curd is worked with hot water and strung out. This is the pasta filata stage. So basically, by keeping it hot, it keeps the fat working through the milk and stops it separating. Mozzarella gets its name from the Italian verb mozzare, meaning to tear, a reference to the way the cheesemaker skillfully uses his hands to tear pieces of melted curd from the hot, elastic mass. It's then shaped into a ball, so the outer layer forms a thin skin around the moist, warm curds within. The cheese is very hot at this stage, and the cheesemakers frequently plunge their hands into the cool, salty whey baths to stop them from burning. Today, most industrial mozzarella is produced using machines. But if you want to recognise genuine handmade mozzarella, look for the telltale V shape left after the fingers have cut the cheese from the curd. The fist-sized mozzarella isn't the only fresh cheese made here. There are a variety of other shapes and sizes.
This is a government liquid. It's a mixture of water, salt and whey. And it's necessary that mozzarella stay here for different hours, depending from the size of mozzarella.
This is it. Bocconcini in this bucket, mozzarella in this one. Laura explained to me that after being submerged in the cool brine solution, the slippery fresh balls are ready for sale. It doesn't get any fresher than this. One thing I've learned is that once you experience the texture and fragrance of really fresh Italian buffalo mozzarella, you will never forget it.
Very sweet.
It's sweet. A little bit mossy. And squeaky. It's beautiful. One of the most well-known of all traditional foods of the Campania region is pizza. Perfected in Naples, it's become a national symbol of Italy. To find out more about this iconic dish, I sought the help of respected chef Baroness Cecilia.
So this is Pepe, he's a pizzaiolo, and he's laying the pasta of the pizza, and pizza with the mozzarella, buffalo mozzarella, is called pizza margherita.
And just tell me why it's called pizza margherita.
Yes, we had a queen called Margherita, and she was very close to a very old pizzeria in Naples that is still there. This pizzeria is called Brandy. And the pizzaiolo, he thought to do a special pizza for the queen. And he put tomatoes, that is red, mozzarella, that is white, and basil, that is green, that are the colors of our flag. So that is why it's called Margherita. And with the other piece, I think he will do a calzone.
And tell me what a calzone is.
Calzone is just a pizza like this, and it is fold.
Like a pie?
Yes, like a pie.
Yeah.
And inside there is the same, ingredients. Usually when we speak about mozzarella, is mozzarella di bufala, made with buffalo milk.
Yeah.
The other kind of mozzarella that is made with cow milk is fior di latte. Fior di latte. So
Here we go. That's off we go.
yes, va bene.
Straight at the back of the oven?
Yes.
And
yes.
how long do you put it in there for?
It's for 5 minutes. And the temperature is very, very high. It could arrive to 300 and 350 degrees inside here. So, it takes very few minutes to be ready.
In this farming community, the specialty is pizza bianca. Pizza with a topping of fresh buffalo bocconcini and a splash of extra virgin oil. Thank you very much. And Pepe, you're a maestro. Maestro.
Yes.
That's it.
Cecilia went on to demonstrate a number of different ways mozzarella can be used.
And then we put cooked ham inside, a piece of buffalo mozzarella.
That's pretty simple.
And then this is Parmesan cheese, breadcrumbs, and parsley, and some garlic.
From the classic stuffed zucchini flowers to cheese on toast, pasta with cheese, and ultimately fried eggplant and cheese fritters.
Now I will prepare this aubergine with mozzarella and tomatoes after. It's like we call parmigiana. Inside we will add some buffalo mozzarella, of course. We must, squeeze to let, go out the liquid. This is, we call in Italian, latticello. We just, put some parsley and we put in the flour. Then we have to beat some eggs, whole eggs, with salt. When you cook, you must always use heavy hands. This is the best thing is not to have gloves and something like that. We put here for the moment. And after, you know, we will fry.
Despite this region's reputation for buffalo milk, many other stretch curd cheeses are made here from cow's milk. The Baroness suggested I travel to the stunning Amalfi Coast to visit a small family dairy making a cheese called Cavallo. The view from this dairy on the Amalfi Coast has to be one of the best I've ever seen. The family that make cheese here have been doing the same thing for the past 300 years. They've got 3 cows and they make all their cheese from raw milk. The cheese itself is called Cavallo. Traditionally made in a gourd shape weighing between 2 and 3 kilos and dried hanging in pairs, its name is a reference to horses. A name that may reflect the days when the milk was transported down from the mountains on horseback. Another explanation is that the name is a reference to the traditional system of drying cheese in balanced pairs, suspended from a pole with one on either side, a cavallo. As you can see, it's very similar to mozzarella. The difference is the curd is much drier, so it'll keep for longer. The very finest examples of Cavallo are made high in the mountains from the milk of a very rare breed of cow called Podilico. Originally from Asia, these timid cows survive by feeding on a wide variety of wild foods. Well, you can hear them, but you can't see them. Up here behind me are a very rare herd of cows, which are responsible for some of the most unusual Cavallo in Italy. These hardy animals spend summer and autumn grazing freely in the undergrowth. Their precious milk is used to create Cavallo Podolica, which is traditionally made in a gourd shape and always hung in pairs to mature. There is a huge range of shapes and sizes of Cavallo cheese, and depending on age, flavour can be dolce, meaning sweet, through to piccante, meaning savoury. To see how the rare Cavallo Podolica is matured, I travelled to the charming village of Castel Civita to visit Casa Madaio. Whoa! Look at this! Amazing!
Questa è una vecchia botola dove raccoglievano tempi fa I miei antenati.
This is the old cellar where my ancestors collected rainwater. The water remained here as a supply for the summer months when water became scarce. Now, we use this old cellar to make our Podolica cheese, a type of Caciocavallo. It's now very hard to find in our country. We can only get 400, maybe 500 pieces each year, depending on the amount of gourds the farmer produces each day. We bring them here to mature. The old cellar maintains constant humidity as well as the temperature, and that allows the cheese to ferment and to mature with time.
Before I left this fascinating mountain hideaway, I was delighted to discover an even older example of maturation than the cellar. This is the rarest form of maturation. It's a hole in the ground, or a fossa. It was built a long time ago as a way of hiding food from bandits. Firstly, the cheeses were wrapped in bandage cloth. Then it was wrapped in straw, and on top of the straw, they put stones and then the lid. Over time, they found that the cheese began to taste really good. And so these fosses, instead of just being a place to hide cheese, became a way of maturing cheese as well. My hosts at Casa Madaio also took me to visit their modern underground maturation room at nearby Eboli.
Ogni ambiente è diviso in varie tipologie.
Each division is for the different types of cheese. Here we have the fresh products. Here we have the first seasoning phase of the cacao, a product of Casa Madaio. It's made from buffalo milk, with 4 different types of cow's milk. Razza mostly, Frisona, Bruna and Alpina cows. There's also a touch of Gelsa. These types of raw milk are put together to make the cheese called cacao.
These facilities are really impressive, and each cell caters for another variety of local cheese. And this room is absolutely amazing. Hanging from the rafters are all sorts of leaves and herbs collected from the surrounding area, and their perfume slowly works its way around the room, flavouring the cheeses with what they call a Mediterranean smell. After experiencing firsthand the many traditional cheeses of this beautiful region, I hope it won't be long before we find more of them in specialist cheese shops. Of course, there's one notable exception, Mozzarella di Campania, which is now exported all over the world. If you really want to taste the finest example of fresh cheese, you need to visit the region. Based on my experience here, it tastes completely different.
Cheese license.
Oh, you want some? Yeah, he wants some too. Whoa!
Okay, come down. I'm rolling.
You want me to see me fall down?
No, you've only got one white shirt left. So.
Well, that's it. Time for a swim. Come on, Richard.
It's a wrap.